A big contention point on social media recently has been, quote, the downfall of Marvel Rivals, right? There's been a pretty steep decline in the player base of Marvel Rivals over the last 5 months, and today we're going to talk about it. What does it actually mean for the game? So, a lot of speculation. I'm going to come out here and say it pretty expected, right? Again, I think the kicker for Rivals, and really any game when it comes out, is can you have a big boom? Because obviously there's going to be the big boom. And then can you actually maintain a solid player base? And I think Rivals is still on track to do it. However, there definitely are some off-putting things in the game that have definitely driven people away. As other things have come out, like Warzone, Verdansk has come back, though I'm not playing that personally. A lot of cool single-player games on the way. I think Marvel Rivals was the big mainstream gaming trend that nobody really expected it to be. But what could they be doing better, and is this decline a big problem? What is this indicative of? Today's video is brought to you by Fume, which is a great alternative to vaping with no nicotine, no vape, just flavored air. If you're looking for a different way to live your lifestyle if you're a consistent vapor, this company has got you covered because, honestly, one, when I opened mine up, I don't vape, but the packaging was really, really nice. Like, it had a great aesthetic to it. It's just a great way to change things up, especially if you're looking to stop vaping. There's a ton of different flavors out there that you can choose from, and it's just flavored air. There's no nicotine. None of that is in there. So if you're looking for a different alternative to that kind of lifestyle, they have got you covered. It'll help out the channel. It'll help out you because, again, these are how we pay for our editors and our channel managers and all of that stuff. So it really help out the channel if you guys would go check them out. Check out my QR code for Fume right here on screen. So if you're looking for an alternative to vaping with no nicotine or anything like that, then Fume is what you need. So go check them out. Everything you need to put down in the description. Thank you for sponsoring today's video, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out. So let's start with this is indicative of. It's indicative that it's just another game out there, right? It's like eventually people are going to get bored and want to play other things. This happened to Overwatch before Rivals. It happened to Helldivers before that. And these games have still maintained solid player bases across their lifetime. So if you're Marvel Rivals, you're not really worried. But the kicker with Rivals is this. One, obviously, they just announced their $3 million tournament, which is insane. Like a $3 million tournament just, trumps pretty much anything else in the hero shooter space for prize pools right now, even as a game that's much more casual than anything else. So that's really big money for anybody looking to compete at a high level. Number two, I think the biggest asset that Rivals has, and this is where it's going to be really interesting, is what happens not at the down, but on the up. And if I'm going to pull up some charts on screen right now of like games like Minecraft, Fortnite, Overwatch, for example, where what was so unique and successful about Minecraft and Fortnite, though Minecraft has not passed its peak since the old OG server days in terms of search results, because the servers carried so hard in OG Minecraft. That I say that as a former Mineplex, because I own Mineplex now, but an OG Mineplexer, right?
Oh, what a great day to be alive, everybody. Oh my goodness.
5 years later.
Here we go! Knock, knock! Right on, you shitter! What makes it so interesting is not the actual downward trend, it's how high can they get back up when a big update drops. This is something that Overwatch was never really able to do in the hero shooter genre, and you have to wonder, is Marvel Rivals actually going to be able to do that? What happens when they release Thanos? What happens when they release Dr. Doom or another insanely at-home, crazy big superhero named a Deadpool, right? What happens when that happens? Are people going to get back on? See, that's what I'm actually really interested in. It's not like Marvel Rivals doesn't have a very strong and healthy player base right now. Like, the game is still doing well. It's not #1 on the charts, but it's still doing very, very well. I'm curious what Ultron will do as well. Obviously, the new season starting, all that. But I guess moving forward to some of the problems that Rivals had, I do think they've missed the mark on a couple things. So let's go ahead and talk about it before everyone's like, oh, you're just hating on the game, blah, 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 blah. It's constructive criticism. Like, listen, no game was perfect. This game certainly hasn't been. But it's been a fun game. I think it's been the best hero shooter on the market the last 6 months. The Overwatch has made some good responses. We'll talk a little bit more about that in another video. But here's the kicker, right? I think that they've missed the mark with support ults in particular. Again, they needed to make more supports be like Mantis and be like Susan Storm and less like Cloak and Dagger and Luna. The 12-second ults is extremely unfun. The rocket res beacon before the fight is unfun to play against as well because, again, like as a DPS player, if I get a kill, I have to kill somebody twice over. So there are so many times where you do enough, like I'll kill 4 people to win a fight, And then all of a sudden, everyone's res, and the stall lasts for so long because the support ults are there, all that stuff. And then they stall it out, and it's like, yo, they probably should have lost this fight. And I understand where they're coming from, where they say, listen, we don't want to destroy the hero fantasy or the superhero fantasy of one of these characters by making the support ults not as good. And my response is, okay, well, how do I feel super when there's a 12-second Luna Snow ult on the point that a Loki copies? That's 24 seconds of stalling. That's 24 seconds of stalling. And Loki can copy early and hold it as long as he wants, and then the ult will last that long too. So you can literally be held hostage for 30, 40 seconds. It's insane. That's an entire fight. So there's a lot of nothing going on in those moments. And that's something I think Overwatch actually did a bit better. Rally was kind of the most oppressive one. You got tankier as the ult went on, right? But beat drop wears off quickly. Like Trance lasts 6 seconds, right? If Rivals made more of those support ults last less time than they do right now, like even Luna ult being 9 seconds and having it come up quick, I'd be more okay with something like that. I'll tell you what, I thought the Rocket Raccoon changes were going to be bad and I didn't want to play against them, but people actually shoot and break the ult now, so the support ults last less time, meaning there's more windows of opportunity to go make plays. If everything is invulnerable, what's the point of being a superhero when you can't actually make a play? That makes the hero fantasy even worse instead of better for most people. And you can still capture like what it feels like to be doing so much on support by not having 12-second support ults. I think that's really off-putting for a lot of players who want to stick around and play the game. Like it's not a fun mechanic to play into. I think that's one thing that they actually did miss the mark on that they could get a lot better with. But again, is Marvel Rivals in trouble? No, I really don't think it is. We knew there'd be a slowdown. We didn't know when it would come. We didn't know how deep it would go. And these are still very healthy numbers for a game that just came out. I think the real tell for Marvel Rivals is going to be how high can they get back, right? Can you consistently hit that peak player count because you're branding, because the characters that come out? Like, I'm curious, what do you guys think down in the comments? If they dropped Deadpool, for example, that's probably like one of the biggest Marvel character names that they could drop. If they dropped Deadpool or like Green Goblin or something like that, do you see a bunch of casual players? Because Marvel Rivals is a very casual game. I've said this from the very beginning, where I think Overwatch is more refined competitively from a game engine standpoint to esports in general to like what rewards you in the game. Like Rivals is definitely a much more casual game in that regard. Where do you all think it lands? Do you think that they can hit that peak player count by dropping a big name character? What is something that you all think they could do to continue to innovate? Because to be honest, like the stuff they've been putting out, I haven't been a huge fan of the balance patches because I don't think this game will ever be balanced. I like the hero bans. I like how they nailed format. I think the format of the game is the best in the hero shooter space. Overwatch is now catching up. But do you think it hits that threshold once again? And my answer, I think it could be yes. I think if they dropped a Deadpool with a 6 skin, some silly, unique game format to play with them, like the big bobblehead thing they did, I think that could go a really, really long way, because I think just in North America in particular, like these heroes and their brands are just so ingrained into American society in particular that it's massive. And like from what I've heard, Rivals actually is not that big in the East, rather in Korea. I'm not sure about China. I'm sure it's pretty big in China again, because the game NetEase is a Chinese company, unless I'm wrong and it's not that big over there. But this is a very, very cool thing to see. If you're a Marvel Rivals fan, you've got nothing to really worry about. Like there's a steady and strong community consistently playing Marvel Rivals, and this is where the fun starts. We're about 6 months in now, and this is where the arms race starts between really Overwatch and Marvel Rivals as to who can claim the hero shooter crown. And to anybody out there who's sitting there saying, oh, well, you shouldn't compare these two, just enjoy whatever you want to enjoy, at the end of the day, it does matter. It does matter. Like, now, you absolutely should enjoy what you want to enjoy, and there's absolutely no problem with enjoying both. I actually have enjoyed playing Overwatch 6v6 with hero bans, ironically something that never gotten added in 8 years until Marvel Rivals came out. So again, like I said, the consumer is going to stay winning with both of these games being successful. Luckily, Marvel Rivals was a massive success. I think it should be a contender, a top contender for multiplayer of the year at the Game of the Year Awards for whatever year it's eligible for. I'm really excited about it. I'm really happy about it. It's been awesome having two separate hero shooters to play. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Are you satisfied with Marvel Rivals right now? Do you think it's going anywhere? Or do you expect it to go up or down? I'd love to hear what you guys think down in the comments. But does Marvel Rivals have a problem? I think it has things that it can always improve on, but I don't think it's really in any danger, despite what ironically I've been seeing on Twitter about people. Why aren't people reporting the decline in Marvel Rivals player base? Well, it turns out, just like every game out there, you're not going to maintain your release peak for a very long time. It's just not going to happen. But the interesting part comes in if you can hit it again or surpass that peak as time goes on, which is something that Overwatch was not able to do, at least in terms of search results. So I wonder, is it possible for Marvel Rivals to do it? Or is it just the hero shooter genre that's incapable? I don't know. You tell me. I'm curious to find out. Thank you guys for watching. Catch y'all next time. Take care. Much love. Peace out.